Alright, welcome back to the fifth and final part of my little dice rolling program tour. I'm not sure why I've actually done this now that it's taken me so long to get to this point. Probably the best thing you can do is just go back to part 1, get to the very end frame, and you'll see the link there to download the source code, and you can follow along with it, and I have commented it out in most of the important places. So unless you really want to know how to use Game Maker to roll a dice, then you're probably wasting your time following along with this tutorial, because it is very basic and it is my very first go at Game Maker. So anyway, just finishing off from where I got to in part 4. We set the health relative to the score, and remember I'm using the health to show the total of dice of all the dice rolls, so that's a running total. And just for fun, when at the very end of it, the game finishes when you reach 100 in the cumulative dice totals. So here's the interesting bit about this: is I've put an expression in here that's an if expression, and what I'm saying there is if the global score is greater than 99, which means you've hit 100, then what we're going to do is start a block. Now that's available from over here on the controls tab. You drag in these two start and end of blocks, and what the benefit of that is it'll actually make anything that's true on this expression run. But if it's not true, it will skip down here to the next part. If we didn't put this start and end of block in, and we just put display a message in, then it would ignore pretty much the if expression, and it would just do the next step. So the block has to go underneath the if expression if you want it to work. So what I'm doing there is displaying a message saying congratulations, you've hit 100, and then I'm restarting the current room. Originally when I first did this, I sort of reset all the variables and reset the dice positions and stopped the timeline and all those sorts of things, and then I realised that if I just reset the current room, it would do all that for me. So that's the easy way to do it. Okay, so just having another quick look at the final result. Roll the dice. There's our score of 3, and the rolls is 1 and score is 3. So I'm just going to go through this a few times. One thing I do have to add to this is somehow I'm going to have to trap so that while the dice are rolling, you can't actually press the roll button again. So that's my next project. And now I've hit 54, halfway to winning. $72, $77. Now obviously we wouldn't be doing this, we'd be using this. So there you can see I hit 100 and reset the whole thing, and everything's back to where it started from, including my dice, which are now invisible until I hit roll the first time. Now obviously what we would actually do here is we wouldn't be having a dice roll game that just rolled some dice for a single player. It's fairly useless, but I just wanted to demonstrate how we can extract the results from the dice roll. And then what the next thing we would do is probably change this board, change this room, and put some squares on it, and have our two players each take turns at rolling the dice and advancing along those squares. And it would be fairly simple to do. What we'd like to do is probably have these squares, have them as the dice rolls, have a loop so that they advance along the squares one by one until they reach their destination, which would be the dice roll. And also once they get to a corner, like in Monopoly for instance, or something like that, once they get to a corner we want to have them change direction and start moving east, and start moving south when they get to this corner spot, and so forth. But now that we've done the hard part of rolling the dice, that's really, not too bad. There's going to be a little bit of code involved in it to reference the points of where we want them to move. And what if two players land on the same square? We want them to be slightly offset from each other. But anyway, that would be your next step to making your dice game. So that's it. If you've stuck with this all the way through, then good on you. I doubt if anybody did, but here it is. That's it. So bye from me.